To the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer. Here's a fly ball into right. Back at the wall. This game is over. Correa ends it. Series is tied in a game apiece.
Welcome into the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. The full band back together. I am Brian McDonald alongside Cam Smith, Sean Mapes, and John Belmer with you here on a glorious Saturday in the fine city of Houston. Full house today. We have the other producers here. Booker T and Brad Gilmore are down the hall doing their national show. It's definitely more popping than the usual Saturday around the palatial Gal Studios.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I have to sit up a little straighter,
head on a swivel,
be on my best behavior. We got a two-time Hall of
Famer down the hall.
Yeah, and then also 7 more producers than are normally here.
We got to set a good example, Sean.
Yeah.
For the youngins,
yes,
same generation.
As someone who's was described in the meeting as you've been doing this radio thing for a while.
Did Joe make you feel old when he called you basically an old salty vet?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then he walked it back. Yeah. Which also made me feel bad because he singled me out and said, actually, you're not experienced.
Yeah, what was the bigger insult? Calling you old salty vet, or you don't know what you're doing?
I didn't like it either way. That's all that matters.
Cam Smith is also here. Cam. Hey, John Belmer in the building as well. And we've got a good one for you today, as Steve Harvey would say in the Family Feud. I always make a joke of that to my wife when
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, literally, he starts every single show. We got a good one for you today.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the one that's gonna just be a mediocre one.
Got a so-so one today.
Yeah, like these two families, I ain't feeling it. Vibes
We got the
bad.
McDonald family. We got the Belmer family.
Not a great show for you today.
John, Brian, let's get started on feud.
Me and Johnny head-to-head in the feud? I'd take Johnny out.
You wouldn't really stand a chance.
Oh, I would murder you, Johnny.
We should have a radio station Family Feud.
Yeah,
I'd
love
fun, man. I do a version of the Family Feud with Joel and Jeremy sometimes called Man of the People. Jeremy is 3-1, so I guess that makes him more the man of the people than Joel. But that would be fun.
The Astros traded for Carlos Correa 2 days ago. By the way.
Oh, yeah, Carlos Correa. So that's one of the things on the show today. You heard the highlight coming in of Joe.
I felt like we had to
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the reset. Yeah, you're good. We got head on a swivel today. We got a Hall of Famer down
exactly.
the
hall.
Well, that's that veteran radio savviness you got there.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
what Booker T want to hear?
Up, John.
You are appreciated, Sean.
Everything you've done here today, I can't tell you
John,
how bad. Yes.
Can't tell you how bad everything you did here was.
Thank you, Pat McAfee. All right, we will talk Carlos Correa, and we will also. We have an interview. We haven't done an interview in a while. Well, I guess we talked to Brad Gilmore every once in a while.
Yeah.
We had BK. No, that was on a regular show. But we haven't had an interview on Saturday in a while. And we'll have former Texans wide receiver, spent 6 years in the NFL. Cecil Shorts will join us at 1:00. Of course, 1:30 will be Mount Rushmore +1. And something that'll be a little more awkward now that I know Sean will be in studio than when I first came up with this bit. But there will be a national championship celebration for my JMU Dukes at 1:15.
I'm excited.
This could have been a week that you weren't here. I think I would have preferred that because Sean's in the league with me. Anyway, let's talk Carlos Correa. We heard the highlight of the walk-off in Game 2 in the 2019 World Series. But, I mean, I guess just initial reactions because I think we all, the day before on Wednesday, had come to believe that it was going to happen. And then by some point, early afternoon, including Bob Nightingale, who said the deal is nearly dead, like
all but
dead. Like the expectations have been way tampered down.
Mm-hmm.
But just your initial reaction, Sean, and then Cam, when you heard the actual news break that Carlos Correa was back in the H.
I couldn't believe it. I because of the kind of snip-snap nature of the reporting of they're really talking about it, and then I think it was on. It was on Wednesday. The Twins had a game. Carlos Correa didn't play, but he still talked to the media afterwards and kind of threw cold water on it, where he's like, I don't think it's actually going to happen. And so I was like, okay, then it's probably not going to happen. Probably have to focus more on, it might just be Ramon Urias and maybe a pitcher. And then during Paul's show, we're like, nothing's nothing's
Yeah,
happening.
Paul was getting a little upset.
He was,
I think he was taking it as a personal affront to him that they weren't breaking news during his show.
And then it breaks literally at 3:05, right after the
with
show.
Joe coming running because we were out at Pizza and Pints at Carbach, and Joe came running over to our desk like the Astros trade for Correa. Shoving the phone in our face.
But as far as like on the field, I mean, he's definitely with the Isaac Paredes injury. He's going to start every day at third base. You needed an everyday starter at that position. And I think Correa, looking at his numbers from this year, when you look at the whole season, it's like pretty meh.
Yeah.
But then you look at the splits, and it's really since May, he's been really, really playing well. He just had an awful start to the season. So and
we're used to that in Houston.
Yeah,
we're used
right.
to our Astros having cold starts.
At least he did it. At least he did it for a different team this time.
Who cares?
But yeah, I'm excited, and not just for on the field, but also the leadership mound visits as a host here.
There was a mound visit last night. Immediately paid off.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the last night's game in next segment.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you guys. There was literally like a mound visit, and right after that, with runners at second and third, Hunter Brown struck out. I forget who it was, but end of the inning, right after a mound visit.
Yeah, that's the Correa effect right there. But yeah,
tangible, baby.
I think honestly, as a Astros fan, just the vibes of this trade, immaculate, and the on field, I feel like it'll be good enough to like justify.
So how you feeling, Cam? Sean mentioned vibes. How are your vibes feeling after the Astros pull off deals for both Correa and Jesus Sanchez?
Invigorating.
Your vibes are invigorating?
Yes.
Not reinvigorating.
Not reinvigorating.
Invigorating.
They're just up there.
Just seeing the pictures of like Jose Altuve and him back on the field. I'm like, we're back.
It just, it feels, man. Like every once in a while, those pictures will pop up on Facebook of like, remember this from your childhood?
Yeah.
And it's a picture of like someone playing Super Nintendo eating pizza. Like this feels like, not our childhood, but this feels like, the good days.
And it feels so good.
The good days are back. So speaking of the good days, John, let's play the clip of maybe, like Correa's hit a lot of important home runs. We played one coming into the show.
Yeah.
But this may go down as Correa's biggest contribution so far to the Houston Astros.
This is America, Ken. You can say whatever you want. But Cody Bellinger's job is to look for information, get informed, know the facts for sure before he stands in front of cameras to talk about other players. You should get informed. You should be informed before you talk about other players. If you don't know the facts, then you got to shut
Damn right. Carlos Correa, I mean, yeah, I would run through a wall for Carlos Correa. Now, this take didn't age well because Jeremy Pena's been so good, but I was definitely on team pay the man when Correa was going to the Giants, going through the Mets, eventually ends up with the Twins. Well, I guess before that on a one-year deal with the Twins, but yeah, I'm so excited to have him back. And it really, Jesus Sanchez, who had 2 hits last night, kind of gets buried in all the news. But he is a guy that I think people are going to look at his overall numbers. You kind of mentioned that with this year with Correa, Sean. Mm-hmm. But people are going to look at his overall numbers with Jesus Sanchez like, okay. But when you dig into it, and really not even that far past the surface level, but when you dig into it, it's like, okay, this guy as a left-handed hitter crushes righties, and he should never see the field against left-handed pitchers.
It's a perfect platoon split with him and
Chaz, really.
Chaz McCormick.
Chaz probably. I assume now fully healthy.
Maybe Myers when he gets
right.
When he gets
fully
back.
Healthy, things change. But right now, Jesus Sanchez crushes righties. Chaz hits well against lefties, but not against righties. Boom, platoon.
Yeah. And you can DH Altuve while Jordan's out.
Yeah. It
basically
just
trot out last night's lineup. That's like night's lineup is more or less, obviously a little matchup dependent, like we're talking about with Sanchez. Last night's lineup is basically the lineup that I want to see most nights until people start coming back healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so go ahead, Ken.
Well, I was going to say, and I think, I read a lot of stuff about people are like, well, you put Correa at third, you leave Pena at second. What are you going to do with Paredes? Paredes can play, Pena at shortstop.
Yeah.
Paredes can play second base. And you're gonna he's played it before.
I know, but just look at him. He's a thick boy. I'm not putting him at second base.
I mean, but
I know he's a sure glove when things get hit to him, but I doubt his range.
That's fair.
I doubt his range.
I also am a little bit of like worried about 2026.
Oh yeah, and we can have that conversation a
like,
little bit, but
it's because there's a couple different a couple different solutions
I think
there.
you're going to have to make a trade.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to make a trade. Maybe we'll carry that part of the conversation over to the next segment. But let's get into, because I think everyone was excited. Correa, Sanchez, everything's good. Vibes are great with what they added to the offense. But, John, we're going to go to the clip here from Dana Brown. I think the pushback people had with, but was they were in trade rumors for Sandy Alcantara. They were in trade rumors for Dylan Cease. They were in trade rumors for other pitchers, starters,
the
and
Diamondbacks
relievers.
guys.
Yeah, Diamondbacks guys. I think Merrill Kelly's name came up at one point. So Dana Brown was asked, because that's been the criticism, if there is some of this trade deadline for the Astros, why no starting pitcher at the trade deadline?
Yeah, I think the pitching additions was the biggest part of our grind. We just felt like the asking prices were too high. And we know that we have a bunch of starters coming back. And so that was an area where we knew we were getting some help.
Yeah, Bob Nightingale tweeted out, because, in there, Dana Brown mentions the price was too high. And obviously the guy they were linked to the most was Dylan Cease, because we saw so many tweets from, Passan and Nightingale and everybody else after the deals for Correa and Sanchez got done of, the Astros heavily pursuing Cease. The deal is close, but it's not done yet, blah, blah, blah.
I saw a 1-inch line.
Or 1-inch line?
Yeah.
Oh, was it the Titans receivers
yeah,
stretching?
No,
Kevin something? I don't remember.
Dyson.
Dyson.
One of the, I don't think it was any of the, traditional media reporters. I think it was some of the people that had a really good day on deadline day.
Michael Schwab was a winner of the deadline.
I forgot if it was Schwab or Bonda, but it was one of those two guys had a 1 yard away from.
If it was
Dylan
Schwabi, I think I'd have to believe it right now. He's on a heater.
He was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was right.
Yeah,
this week.
I mean, he has to be. No, all joking aside, and we had him on the Killer Bees yesterday. You can check that out on the podcast page. But dude got quoted as the source by both Ken Rosenthal and Jeff Passan. Like, Schwabi had a day.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Schwabi on that. But back to what Dana Brown was saying about, the Astros not adding a starting pitcher. Bob Nightingale, because he said the price was too high, and we were all wondering if they'd get that deal done. They certainly tried. But apparently the Padres were asking for Spencer Arrighetti plus 3 prospects.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was, get the F out of here. What do you think, Cam, when you hear that price for Dylan Cease?
I like Dylan Cease, but the last couple of years he hasn't been the same Dylan Cease.
He's very up and down.
And down, and it's the asking price, and that's why, like, as much as I wanted to see them try and sign a starter, they held firm. Like, they knew what they were going to give up and what they weren't going to give up, and they didn't go overboard with it.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, like, it would have been nice to have one, but also to his point, you're about to get a bunch of guys back. So don't force the issue. Don't overpay, especially when this farm system is already kind of depleted. So I was okay with that.
Yeah, and because he was going to be a rental, and
Yeah, 2 months.
also a little bit of a reclamation project of getting some of his getting some of the kinks that have popped up the last couple years. Get him to stop walking guys. Really, is most of it.
Yeah, because he still strikes out a ton of guys, but because of the walks, his ERA is like 4.7.
Walks and barrels. That's looking at his baseball savant page.
Nerd.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think I read an article
I'm filling in for Branham actually,
where he said that he didn't really want to come to Houston.
Yeah, I think guys could be talked into it when the playoff run happens. I'm not as worried about that, but because he's I don't have actually much of a problem with the reclamation part of it, because we've seen the Astros do it so many times. They did it with Yusei Kikuchi. They did it in the past with Charlie Moore and with Wade Miley. I don't have a problem with
I don't
that
want to
part.
pay the price to
Right, that's the problem. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But when the price is Spencer Arrighetti plus, you can get the F out, because maybe this is being too optimistic about Spencer Arrighetti and also throwing in Christian Javier into the equation. But what we saw with Arrighetti in the first half or the second half of last season, that's better than what we've seen from Dylan Cease over the last year plus. So I feel like they'd be trading Arrighetti plus to get back basically the same production you'd get with just Arrighetti. It doesn't make sense.
And there's nothing past this year for Cease
on
his contract.
Or Arrighetti, you got like 4+ years of team control left.
Yep.
It makes no sense.
I think if Cease had another year on his deal, that's where it gets
changes the math.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But if we're talking about the situation that we're in, I think it was good to for Dana to pass that one by, and I think after this trade deadline and this offseason, I think Dana Brown kind of has no second guessing from me for a
no,
little
flexed
while
on him.
as far as what moves he decides to make and what moves he decides not to make. It's if anyone's built up trust in 6 months, I guess a little bit
really
more.
even going back to a year, because I think I mentioned Yusei Kikuchi, like that deal felt like universally frowned upon,
Yeah.
or at least like given side eye, because like man, that a lot of people felt like with Will Wagner and Loper Fido and Jake Bloss that was too much, and
Yeah.
I mean Jake Bloss had Tommy John, Will Wagner's been traded a second
Yeah.
time,
He's actually
Loper
Dylan-
Fido's been in the minors, and Yusei Kikuchi was amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm in, we used to say in Dusty we trusty. I'm trusting Dana Brown until further notice. I don't know what the pun there would be for. I guess are you down with Dana Brown? For
Yeah.
still
Ooh.
a bit from the Paul Gallant show. I guess I would have to say
Wouldn't-
yes. I am down with Dana Brown right now.
Wouldn't be the first time someone stole a bit.
Oh, you want to call people out?
No.
You want to name names?
I mean, we also kind of stole Bad Take Boulevard. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about this when you and I were filling in for Paul. Like everything in radio was stolen, so no one should ever feel bad about that. All right, more Astros on the other side of the break. If you want to join in on that conversation, give us a call or a text on the HRMP listener line at 713-780-3776. We're going to talk about what do you do with the surplus of infielders next year, as Cam brought up earlier, and also about last night's game as well. Then we'll get into some Texans conversation after that. Cecil Shorts at 1 o'clock and Mount Rushmore +1 at 1:30. That on the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is The Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back in. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Bullpen here with Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Cam Smith, and John Belmer with you. A reminder, at 1 o'clock, former Texans wide receiver Cecil Shorts will be joining the show, so don't miss that. Plenty of Texans conversation with him and also before that. But right now, continuing in on the Astros. And if you have your own thoughts on the Astros, what happened last night in Boston, the trades for Correa or in Jesus Sanchez, what they didn't do with starting pitchers, please give us a call or a text on the HRMP listener line, 713-780-3776. But Cam, you brought up last segment kind of the idea of the surplus of infielders that they're going to go into next year, assuming health, which I think is part of the plus side of this deal is I'm never going to assume health. I mean, look who we're talking about. Altuve, he's gotten hurt a lot. Correa, He's gotten hurt a lot. Paredes has been hurt multiple times. Pena is usually very reliable, but he got a broken rib. That was just bad luck. He got hit. Yeah, and I just I'm never going to assume health, so that's kind of the plus side of this. But when you're looking at a fully healthy Astros next year, when Isaac Paredes comes back, and whether or not he's ready to start the year feels kind of questionable after the severity that we've been told of this injury. I've always feel like the Astros, and maybe more specifically Dana Brown, give us the most optimistic version of the truth that is out there. We've seen that with some of the timelines they put out on guys that they went far beyond that. I mean, Jordan has supposed to have been back how many times already this season? And now Dana Brown's telling us mid-August. We'll see. He is hitting a baseball in Florida. We'll see how his hand holds up. But with Isak, if they're telling us 6 to 7 months, I'm going to kind of assume it's maybe 8 to 9 months just because that's the way the Astros have gone. But let's live in the hypothetical that everyone's healthy.
Yeah, opening day,
day, everyone's there. Isak is ahead of schedule. Let's plan the parade. But you have Isak Paredes and Carlos Correa kind of in a logjam at third. Jeremy Pena's your shortstop. Because you're fully healthy in the outfield, Jose Altuve's back at second, and Christian Walker is at first. So that you've got a spot where, unless you're DHing somebody, but Jordan's your DH, so that's not going to happen. Unless you're DHing somebody, there's really not a spot for all of these infielders. So my initial thought is, because I think some people have brought up, well, let's move Correa to second base. I get it from, if I'm playing MLB The Show, absolutely. But Correa's already willing to move the third. I think he actually kind of wanted to move the third anyway, because he's a big guy.
He talked about it.
Yeah, he's a little bit older. I don't know if he's going to be gung-ho about moving to second. So let's strike that out. So you got
Pena moving to second, throw that out.
Throw that out as well. That ain't happening.
I think
because if you move him to second, then Correa has to go back to short, which you don't want to do.
I think the most certain thing is that Pena will play shortstop, Correa will play third.
Absolutely, and Altuve can't play anywhere else but second.
He can play left.
But I mean, if fully healthy though,
is it Jesus Sanchez?
Yeah, Jesus Sanchez on left. Jake / whoever in center, and maybe Bryce Matthews starts learning to play center. But Jake / whoever in center, and then right field's Cam Smith, and then Jordan's your DH. You can depending on who's taking a day off, Altuve can go in left. But let's when you're lining up and your roster is fully 100% with everyone available, I mean, Altuve's playing second. So now you're really talking about Walker and Paredes at first.
Yes.
And I think that leads us directly to the answer. It's basically do what the Twins did, but with Christian Walker.
Yes, I think that's the
salary dump his ass.
That's the plan A, I would say, is
not plan A. I don't even know what the plan B would be. That seems like the most logical answer.
It would be Paredes. Turn Paredes into an arm. That would be that would be the backup plan.
I just would rather have his bat in the lineup than Walker's.
Yes.
Even though Walker is having a hot boy summer
right now. That's why it's plan B. It's not
fair.
plan A.
Okay, fair. Good point.
But I think letting Walker, or not letting Walker go, but trading Walker would be the solve. Also, but at the same time, just to do the thing that we're talking about where we make arguments against ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Impromptu. Paredes hasn't played first. So you're teaching Paredes how to play first.
I would rather teach him to play first than see Walker hit. All right, look. I don't think there's going to be a perfect answer here because all of them are going to require.
You don't want to see 315 average 8.
Talking about his hot boy summer right now. You're pulling up what I put.
You don't want to see Walker hit.
Yeah, look, he is having a hot boy summer. So since July 1st, Sean brought it up. He's hitting 315 with an 852 OPS. And his home runs and RBI numbers over that time would pace out over a full season to 28 and 133. It's a hell of a hot boy summer. But we've been
Silver Slugger year.
But we've been fooled by this before with the resurgence of Jose Abreu 2 years ago, August through the playoffs.
Doesn't matter, Brian. 162 pace, Brian.
No, hard pass. Hard pass.
Yeah,
I'm not buying. I know you're messing with me.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying into. This is kind of the Jalen Green argument to take it to the Rockets. He's having a Jalen Green March of 3 years ago.
I think, yes, like when Jalen Green would shoot 65% from three, and you're like, he's not going to do this.
Yeah, he's just not.
And I think the 133 RBIs from.
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous of all of it.
Just like, okay.
Ain't no way he's getting 133 RBIs.
Yeah, so I agree. I mean, I tried to devil's
I appreciate it.
advocate for the devil. Someone needs to do it
as you do online.
But I think we're aligned that Walker is kind of would be the guy that you want to is the guy you want to be the odd man out.
Yeah, I think Cam will obviously weigh in here, but to me, the simplest way to look at it is like, who do you least want in the lineup? Identify that person, and then do what you have to do to make that happen, right? But what do you feel about what we've laid out here with the idea of Correa at third, Pena at short, Altuve at second, Paredes moving to first, and shipping basically salary dumping Christian Walker like the Twins did with Correa?
I mean, I would love that because I'd rather see Paredes in the lineup. My only issue is we're talking about a guy who is going to be on the IL for at least 6 months, possibly longer. So what time is he actually going to have
to work on
to
the
practice
position?
Playing first base, which is completely different?
You could fill in for a little while. You could buy, like, Dubon's played some first, Yiners play some first. Like, you
Bring back John Singleton.
Again?
I'm just
he's just trying to trigger us. That's all he's doing. You remember the line from The Dark Knight? Some people just like to watch the world burn.
Oh yeah,
that's
that
me
man
talking
right
about,
there.
Talking about the Astros. they're gonna win the division no matter what. So I'm just gonna needle people as they do it. The most miserable fan base that makes the ALCS every year.
Yeah, well, certainly if you define it as who's miserable but yet makes the ALCS for 7 straight years, 8 straight years, whatever it was.
We have a lot of like, man, this is a depressing conversation, and they win 90 games every year.
Well, not last year, Sean. What have you done for me lately, Sean? They did not win 90 games last year.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, don't rain on my miserable parade. That doesn't quite work.
Yeah, don't bring sunshine to my rainy parade.
Wow.
All right, guys, let's briefly talk about last night's game. It's kind of a bummer. There we go again. The lead in the division now, 3.5 over Seattle, 5.5 over Texas. Seattle and Texas are playing each other, so I mean, I guess we're hoping for a 2-1 either way. Yeah, 2-1 either way.
It's a 4-game series. So
it's a 4-game series. Yeah, obviously you won't split. The Astros 1.5 behind both Detroit and Toronto, who are right now tied for the first seed if the playoffs started today. So Hunter Brown. Let's start there with the good. I mean, the bad is some of those blunders and then the walk-off. But the Hunter Brown, I think there was obviously some hand-wringing because it is the Astros fan base when he gave up 10 earned runs combined against Cleveland and Texas. But 3 starts since then, 16 innings pitched, 18 Ks over that time, 2.81 ERA. I think and the velocity was back up, too, because that was the other part of the concern of, his fastball's dropped to 94 instead of being 97. Velocity's up, 2.81 ERA, more than a strikeout per inning in his last 3. Hunter Brown's back.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do Hunter Brown is back.
Well, people were okay.
Yes, it's one start. It's one like definitively back on track start. But
2.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah. But it's a check. I saw what I needed to see to be back in on this guy. Not back in on this guy, but like we're leaving July in July. I guess just mentally, it's the beginning of August. Now we can move on.
Yeah, I'm on that one. I'm not going to say he's back because he had 1 or 2 bad starts out of the entire year.
Yeah, he had like 3 bad starts in a row.
There was panic in the streets, though. I'm not saying that we were concerned.
Yeah,
but I mean, because we're just talking about what's happening.
Well, and I feel like
he needed not literally like in the stat sheet a win, but he needed a like boom quality start. He needs a win.
Pitch like an ace night. Yeah.
When I think there's a lot of freaking out and overreaction just based on what was happening with the Astros at that time. Like more injuries. Like if this was a healthy team and Hunter Brown went on that bad 2 or 3 game stretch in a row, I don't think we would be really talking about it. It just happened to happen during a bad time.
It was like a lot of stuff was hitting the fan, and also the ace that you could depend on for 6 innings, 1 earned run. He was also having bad starts. So yeah, I think that was part of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. The other part that I wanted to mention before we go to break and get over to the Texans, but Jeremy Pena showed up like he never left on base with hits his first 3 bats last night, ends up 3 for 5. But the storyline, obviously, is that he left the game in extra innings with what Joe Espada called after the game a cramped up hamstring, according to Chandler Rome. Rome went on to say that Jeremy Pena told him that he feels like he will play today and that he came out of the game as just a precaution.
All right, no questions asked.
I know Bill shaking his head in studio. It's like, There's
Yeah,
people,
John.
We've
what are
heard it
your
all
thoughts?
before.
Yeah, I know. Like, I saw. I think I remember Jeremy Branham tweeted last night, like 10-day IL.
Yeah,
Just like
IL 'em.
let's. And I look probably overreactionary. I don't care. 10-day IL them. Like, what are
Zach
we doing?
Short, get on a plane to Boston.
Well, they DFA'd him.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
to re-sign him.
Bryce Matthews, get on a
Matthews, get on a plane to Boston. Cray, you're moving your ass back to short. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Like it's a hamstring. Like, we did this before with Paredes, and I remember, like, why aren't they ILing him? And he actually came back fine until then it wasn't fine a little bit later.
He tore his hamstring for 6 months.
Yeah. Which I don't know if those two things are related, but, you know, my thoughts do go there. But, yeah, like, the Astros, I don't fear them being chased down over the time that Pena's gone.
No.
So, especially now that they've added a couple bats and they're getting,
Yeah.
Javier and Arrighetti back soon. Like, let's just 10-day IL him
So
and see
you
where he's at.
10-day IL?
I would.
I think I'd just go probably put him down for the series. The
And then
next 2 days and
right,
then
'cause you can always,
reevaluate.
like, if he's not good on Monday, then you can always retroact it to
Yes, yeah.
I'm fine with that plan.
Yeah.
Where you at, Cam?
I'm honestly a little shocked that he even played shortstop last night. I thought he was going to DH coming back from
Yeah,
that
like
stint.
first game back,
Yeah.
like throw him in. Yeah.
So the fact that they threw him in there and now his hamstring is whatever
Cramped
it
up.
is,
It's just a cramp. Just go
cramp.
drink some Gatorade,
Eat a
get some
banana.
electrolytes in
Yeah.
him, he'll be fine.
I'm sit a couple days
Yeah.
because the trade deadline's passed. So if he gets hurt, then
Yeah,
you are stuck
you're
with what
pooched.
you're with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, official bullpen plan. We'll see you on Monday, and then we'll
Yeah.
maybe retroactive.
Yeah,
if
work
you're not
him
better.
out on Sunday, see how he works.
All right. When we get back here on the bullpen, we're going to switch over to the Texans. Some concerning things I think we've seen from the Texans training camp. I'm going to try not to overreact for the offensive performance because it is now just August 2nd. But that when the bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is The Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back in, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Cam Smith, and John Belmer with you here until 2 o'clock. Coming up at 1, former Texans wide receiver, 6 years in the league, Cecil Shorts will join us at 1 o'clock. Then 1:30, Mount Rushmore plus one. And in between that, what we've all been waiting for, the James Madison University Dukes championship celebration.
I thought it was
at
leftovers.
115.
Leftovers at 115.
Yeah, I just put it in there because I didn't see where else to put it. It wasn't going to give it its own segment. It might become its own segment. We'll see how the show goes.
Thing you love.
If they got
5 minutes.
It's not giving enough deference.
Okay,
It's not giving enough deference. All right, talking Houston Texans right now. Day 9, I think, of training camp. But here is some audio from Texans beat writer with the Chronicle, Jonathan Alexander, on what he observed at Texans training camp day 8 yesterday out of their energy.
Day 8 of Texans training camp is complete. Here are 3 observations from today's practice. Number 1, I thought the defense was really good again. The offense was a little bit disjointed. We saw a lot of incomplete passes, some miscommunication, but I do think that speaks to how good this defense is going to be, especially in that secondary. Observation number 2, I thought the offensive line held up pretty well considering they did give up a few sacks, but I thought C.J. Stroud was afforded a lot more time. Where the issues came were the coverage sack. The coverage was so good for the defense, C.J. Stroud really couldn't find his receivers. Observation number 3, we saw Jalen Reed, the rookie, the 6th-round rookie, get hurt during special teams. Don't know the extent of that injury, but he did go down. He wasn't carted off, so perhaps that's a good sign.
All right, so Jalen Reed injury aside, because we really don't know what the severity of that is, and no disrespect, he's a 6th-round rookie, so we don't know how much he'd actually be contributing to the starting roster. But on those other 2 bullet points about the defensive backs and then in the offensive line and Stroud having trouble finding guys open, it feels like there's been a constant give and take with how we're evaluating this team. It's like, man, this defense is great, but the offense is trash. But you can't really disconnect, or you really can't disconnect them from each other because obviously the defense is directly affecting the offensive performance.
And it's a defense that we're all pretty confident will be like, at least I'm confident,
top 3
in the league.
Yeah.
So
top 3.
Most offenses are going to look pretty bad against them. That's not to be like, no worries about the Houston Texans offense. I still have my concerns, but there is an element of that of just, I think that, and it's going to be tough because I think both of the combined scrimmage, or what do they call it when another team practices with you?
Scrimmages, I guess.
The training camp with the Lions that they do.
Yeah.
They're gonna join the Lions.
Joint practices?
Joint practice. There it is.
I could not think of the word. I was like combined. I was going through the synonyms.
Oh yeah, all words that mean the same thing as joint. Yes.
I was like, it's not what they're called. Joint. Yeah, the joint practices I think will be huge. Although the Lions might stink. But they
have Aiden Hutchinson. Well, I don't know if he'll be back.
They just lost 35 to 7.
They got smoked on Thursday
against the Chargers.
I was.
You are welcome.
I know. I was trying to see if we could go a full show with trying to give Cam any opening of bringing up. The Chargers.
Sorry, that's on me. That's on me.
You.
And
go back
it was a referencing of the Hall of Fame game of all things.
I know you gave Cam an opening.
Excuse me, I didn't even mention my team. I just said that the Lions got smoked on Thursday. That's all I said.
The Chargers
I hope
might
the
be
Chargers
amazing.
have to start Trey Lance. That's what I hope right now.
They look pretty good. They look pretty good with them.
Hey,
what does Justin Herbert ever want?
That Trey Lance to Will Disley connection, cooking baby.
Late round sleeper. I don't know.
No, it's a stack I'm drafting.
But yeah, I think we'll see a lot more. We won't, because I think the joint practices are in
West Virginia.
So
yeah, they're out there next week.
It'll be a smaller
Minnesota game.
Smaller beat crowd for the Texans.
Yeah, I would assume still DJ's probably still out there. Maybe Jonathan Alexander, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously the Texans radio people will all be out there, but I don't know about the Stooges in the lockers.
Yeah, or Kunkel. Yeah,
Kunkel. Yeah,
I know
Paul
Paul can't, but
yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, you're right. We probably will have,
but we'll learn more from those practices.
Certainly,
for sure. I will say it makes me feel like one sliver better that it was the offensive line held their own in the one-on-one drills with the defensive line, according to all reports yesterday, and they struggled in the full team scrimmage, and a lot of that was Jonathan Alexander mentioned it. A lot of it was the coverage sacks, like the coverage.
I can turn that into a negative, Sean. Don't tempt me.
Receivers can't get open.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, there's a way to spin this into a negative.
It's at least something I'm less concerned about.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair. Because I obviously I'm far more enamored with the talent of this wide receiver group than the offensive line group.
Yeah.
But an interesting comment along these lines of what we've seen with, well, the offense isn't doing much, but we give them a pass because it's the Texans.
Yeah,
defense,
I'm not giving
mark.
a pass because I remember last year, Paul and we had DJ BNME on once a week. I mean, we had him, I think for most of camp, we would have him on. And it was just every day. They're just like, offense got their ass kicked again. Like the offense, and it was like a little bit of, hey, the defense is always ahead of the offense at this point of the camp.
And
but it got to a point where I was like, should we be worried about the fact that they get their ass kicked every single day?
Right, because I think the follow-up to that would be, and there's a quote I want to get to Nick Haley and ask you guys a question about that in a second, but the follow-up would be, okay, sure, they're getting their ass kicked by a top 5, top 3 defense, but what would they face in the playoffs? Going against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
the
Chiefs
Ravens,
are pretty good defense too.
The Bills.
Ravens, yeah. These
like
are
they're
good
going to go up
defenses.
against other kick-ass defenses.
And
they got to be able to do something against those teams.
And that to me is why when we're having the conversation, like when we're talking about our worries about the shortcomings of the Texans, I think we all come from a play. I haven't talked to anyone on radio, at least, where the concerns mean they won't win the division. Like all the concerns come in the divisional round of the playoffs.
After the Texans Invitational wild card Saturday at 3:30.
Yes, they'll beat
that's when the
whatever
concerns
jabroni
start.
wild card team, and then they'll keep it moving.
What a hater, man.
But yeah, that is what I want to like make sure when we like talk about how worried we are about the offense for 10 straight minutes is to go, by the way, we still think this team's going to win 10 games and win the division.
Absolutely. And let me run this by you, and I'll start with you on this one, Cam. But there's a quote from Nick Haley kind of led me to this might be seen as a reach or a crazy idea, but I want to see what you think about it. So Nick Haley had a quote about the offense benefiting from facing this Texans defense, which we all agree is top 3 to top 5. Quote, it makes us better, Haley said, on going up against the defense. It's what you expect from this unit, and we expect that of ourselves to compete. It's as hard of a look as we're going to see down after down, and that's a good thing. So it kind of feels like, you know how batters will go up with the weights on their bat, take a couple practice swings. So when they swing the bat with the weight off, they're faster. It feels lighter. It kind of feels that that's what Nick Haley's saying. Like, this is as tough as it gets. So once we do go these, other defenses in the AFC South, these jabronis like the Titans and the Jaguars, it's going to be, easy cakewalk. But I do wonder if, I don't know, Texans defense has some veterans, right? You got guys like Daniil Hunter, Mario Edwards, Sheldon Rankins. Maybe these guys need a day off, right? Like, I do wonder if it would benefit the Texans. I'm going to ask Cecil Shorts this as a former NFL player if I'm crazy. But he'll join us at 1 o'clock. But I do wonder if not only the Texans defense would benefit from a rest day, but if the Texans offense would
also benefit from their guys.
From the confidence coming from a Texans defensive.
Yeah.
I get that. Hey, this is as tough as this is going to get. We'll iron sharpens iron. When we go against weaker defenses, we'll be all the better for it because it'll be so much easier than what we faced in practice. But I think they could use a day where the ball doesn't hit the ground, a day where Stroud's not getting sacked, a day where he's not, throwing interceptions to Petrie and Lassiter and Stingley. I think they could use a confidence day.
Yeah, I have one but Cam,
Cam, what do you think of this idea? Am I crazy?
I have one little Jenga piece to pull out of that. But.
Okay.
I mean, I can see where Kaylee's coming from, but the whole point is, for me, is sure, they're going up against what's going to be an elite defense, but the offense is seeing this defense every single day. And it's not going to be the 17 teams that they're playing in the regular season. Yeah. So sure, you're going up a great practice defense, but when the regular season starts and every defense for every team you face is going to be different, that's a completely different ball game. Like you're practicing against the Texans defense now. You're not playing against the Texans defense in the regular season. So
the coverages they call, the defenses they call will be different when you're in practice.
Yeah,
like typically they blitz less in practice.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of
Texas defense doesn't really need to blitz.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
And like vice versa, like the Texans defense is looking really good, but they're also practicing against the same offense every single day. So that's where I'm just kind of like, I see where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's not gonna matter.
The familiarity
is this the Jenga piece you're about to pull out?
No.
Okay.
I think you brought up a good point, Cam, where the familiarity should even it out, just because you're used to going up against these guys. I remember Chris Long was talking about it a couple weeks ago, maybe, or last week, about how he loved joint practices because being a D lineman like Chris Long was, like, he's just going up against the same tackles every time. And he's like, well, I know I can just use this move every time to get around this guy, or like this move won't work. So he's like, I'm only working on 1 or 2 moves going up against the same offensive lineman every day. But then you put a different team in front of me with a different lineman, then I get to, grow my game like that.
That makes sense.
So there is a little bit of plateauing that could happen.
And it's also like the effort too. Like obviously in practice you want to go 100%, but you're facing your own team.
Yes.
So it's just like you don't want to injure your left tackle. Now when you go up against Detroit's for practice, you don't give a damn if you hurt their left tackle.
If they die, they die.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You're glad to hit someone else for a change.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Jenga piece I'm going to take out.
Okay.
You brought up a good point. Some veterans on this defense. I would say Derek Stingley is 23, 24.
You're 4. He's the vet.
Kamari Laster is 22.
You're technically a vet.
Will Anderson is 23.
You're 3, technically a vet.
Okay, that's my. Well, you can't really take those guys. You can't give those guys the
Hey,
Daniil
you
Hunter.
worry about Will Anderson if he has a day off?
No, it's just
he's a Terminator. It'll be fine.
I thought we were mad at Tunsil for not practicing. Now the entire defense needs a day off.
If the defensive line all thought they were jobbers because they couldn't ever have any success, then maybe we would have.
Just so Cam Robinson doesn't cry in his car after practice.
Yeah. I need him to have some confidence going to LA week 1.
Going up against Jared Verse. That's the other thing of. You can say like you won't play a defense as good as the Texans, or you'll play
Rams
very
are pretty
few.
good.
Rams have, and especially like specifically what you're bad at.
Right up
like,
front.
Go watch the Rams play the Minnesota Vikings. Hey, did the Texans have any former Minnesota Vikings on their offensive line? Oh yeah, Cam Robinson, right?
Ed Ingram.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Man, Jared Verse had like 3 sacks against those guys in the playoff game.
You're not making me feel any better, Sean. All right, we're going to go to break. Talk some NFL news on the other side. A couple of Pro Bowl high-level players, Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin, possibly on the move, or at least they've both requested trades. That when the Bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
It's weird.
All right, welcome back into the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Cam Smith, and John Belmer with you. Got about an hour and 10 minutes to go. Next segment, former Texans wide receiver, 6 years in the league, and he now works for them as the game day MC. Cecil Shorts III will be joining us on the HRP Hotline, so make sure you stay tuned for that. One of the ways you can listen is our new ESPN Houston app. It's live both for Apple and on Android. The new app allows you to sign up and enter to win in our giveaways, including spots in the upcoming listener party in September. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit the go button, and you will see the new features that will include immediate access to the text and call line, all of our social media platforms, and our YouTube channel. There's also a chat feature in the app that listeners can use to interact with each other and the shows. And the app, as I said, is now available not only on iPhones, as it started off with, but now on Android as well. So before we get into Cecil Shorts, got about 6 minutes here. Let's talk about, I think, the biggest news in the NFL, and that, of course, is the Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones war, battle, whatever.
I think it's a battle right
Battle right now. Might have hit its kind of crescendo with Micah Parsons requesting a trade. Now, this is something we talked about, I guess, Sean, when you and I filled in for Paul.
Last week we talked about it a little bit.
We had some fun because Jerry Jones was talking about, well, he could get hit by a car as a reason not to re-sign Micah Parsons. He also said, like, even if we sign him, we might not get him because he missed 6 games last year. Oh, by the way, he missed 4 games. So Jerry's, as we've known for a long time, clearly out of touch. But apparently, Micah Parsons held that press. I think he was alongside Trevon Diggs.
Yep.
Like, he spoke to the media. He clearly wasn't happy. But I think a lot of people expected that, hey, they would meet, they would hash it out. Jay would say, you know, hey, I'm 80-something, don't listen to what I say. They would hand him a big bag of money and everything would be over. Yep. But that's not how it's gone down. Apparently it's worsened to the point of Micah Parsons telling the Cowboys he no longer wants to be there and wants out. So I guess the first question because we always, I think, and we were talking to AJ during the producers meeting, one of the part-timers here who's a Cowboys fan, and his belief strongly is that a deal still gets done. They'll pay him a big bag of money, and then Michael Parsons will forget about this. But first question, you guys, is do you believe that? Do you think this can be saved at this point between the Cowboys and Parsons?
No.
Sean?
No.
I think it can. I mean, all they have to do is be like, here's Myles Garrett's contract plus 5%. There you go. You're the best. You're one of the best players on the defensive side of the ball. Boom! You're now the new highest paid non-quarterback.
Pay that man his money.
Oh, Teddy KJB, nice pull there, Johnny.
But with the Myles Garrett one,
Myles Garrett did the same exact thing, by the way.
He did,
like
but
6 months ago.
But the
less than 6
so
months ago.
Well, TJ Watt, I mean, made noise. He never asked for trade.
So like that's why NFL trade requests, by the way, I do not care about them.
But Myles Garrett wasn't having shots fired at him by his own ownership and team managership group. And the thing is Michael Parsons, if I'm not mistaken, he's already come out and written a note to Dallas Cowboy fans like, thank you so much. Myles Garrett also didn't do that. So like that's why I think like Micah Parsons is like, this is who I'm dealing with. Y'all don't even want to talk to my agent. Like, I'm done.
And I'm glad you brought up the agent, Cam, because that's like
crazy.
And by the way, who's his agent?
Yeah. David Mulligetta.
CJ Stroud's agent, David Mulligetta.
And
Deshaun Watson's agent, David Mulligetta.
And Jalen Ramsey and a bunch of guys that have gotten traded.
A bunch of guys that get paid,
Paid and traded.
Traded, yeah.
But yeah, that is like I don't know. I'd say 75. He comes back, like they just offer him the obvious deal that you offer a guy like Michael Parsons, and you move on. And then like 25%, like this actually is a severed relationship that can't be repaired. But I think I need a little bit. I need a little bit more toxicity before I'm going like this can't be salvaged.
So when you look at the timeline of this, it's pretty interesting. And this was tweeted out by Jane Slater of NFL Network. But as of August 1st, there apparently had not been a single written offer sheet submitted to Micah Parsons' agent. Again, that is David Mulligetta. So like if you were to take the Cowboys seriously,
the Joneses were trying to negotiate with Micah Parsons and not David Mulligata.
That is the other thing.
That's what Parsons
bullet point
said.
number 2. Numbers were discussed as related to what Micah Parsons felt his value was during a meeting that Jerry called to discuss his leadership role. Okay, it's unclear who prompted that. One side said Micah did, the other said Jerry did. Yeah, so. Because the other part of it is it feels like the Cowboys are saying, one of the reports out there is that David Mulligata told them, we will not discuss an offer with Micah Parsons till all the other edge rushers get paid. So basically, like you said, we want Myles Garrett plus 5%. We want TJ Watt plus 5%. So I don't know which side we believe, because that side would obviously paint it as to Micah Parsons is causing the delay. The other side of, well, no offer has been submitted to him, also feels like, well, the Cowboys are causing the delay.
Yeah,
So there's a truth somewhere in between, but
in short, I'm going to believe the side that is the Cowboys are poorly run. I was going to say morons. I was going to say morons. They're not morons. They're poorly run.
They're poorly run because, look, if there wasn't a track record here, as Cam's microphone goes down, your microphone's holding out. It wants to get paid more.
Must be from Dallas.
Yeah. But if there wasn't a track record here recently, in the same organization with the same owner and GM, with making CD hold out, making Dak
wait franchise twice,
and both times they take L's by having to pay them more. If there wasn't that track record, I'd believe it. But like with this track record, I do side on the Micah Parsons side of the Cowboys are causing the delay.
And really, really quickly, because of the Dak Prescott thing, that's part of the reason I think that this gets resolved, because the Dak Prescott thing was also very weird and protracted. And
CD held out and he got paid.
And it's different because he's a quarterback. So like he didn't demand or trade, but to do that to your franchise quarterback is crazy. And they did that, and he's still on the Cowboys.
All right, one word answer. I'm going to give you guys the odds board, the top 8, if you will. Okay. Of if he leaves the Cowboys, the next team he plays for is one word answer, and then we'll go to break. Raiders, Steelers, Chargers, Jets, Colts, Packers, Rams, Titans. Sean, one word answer. If he's not in Dallas, he's
Seahawk.
Ooh, okay. They weren't even on the board, but Cam?
Oh, wait, I was looking at the Terry McLaurin one. You listed off so many teams.
Well, it's on the Google Doc.
Yes, but you also had the McLaurin one. I was looking at the McLaurin one.
Yeah, no, we're talking about Micah Parsons here. All right, Raiders, Steelers, Chargers, Jets, Colts, Packers, Rams,
Cam,
Titans.
you go first.
I know y'all know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Chargers, no, but
go
listen, no Bosa, and Khalil Mack is 34 and he's on a 1-year deal. They need a pass rusher.
They do. The Steelers makes no sense. I'll go the Raiders. I think they'll overpay. Sean,
Jets.
you got a list down?
Jets.
All right. We'll go to break now. On the other side, when we get back, former Texans receiver Cecil Shorts will join us, talk some Texans and what he's observed from some of these players out at camp. That when the Bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
First and 10. Will Shorts throw? He will. And he's got the open running back, Blue, who took advantage of Demario Davis in pass coverage. 21-yard touchdown pass. Cecil Shorts touchdown throw.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back into the Bullpen. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, Sean Mapes, and John Belmer with you here for another hour. And right now, we have someone who once tried to run me over in a really large white van that he uses to haul around his, I think, 5 children. I think that's what the count is. This man literally tried to murder me, but we still have him on. He's a great guy, even though he tried to murder me once. Confirmed.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, that's true. You guys, you've never tried to use a large white van to like run me over in broad daylight, but
he's lived 2 of my dreams: playing in the NFL and running you over.
But welcome into Cecil Shorts, former Texan, 6-year veteran in the league with the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's a game day MC for the Houston Texans and a host of Believe in Texans as a part of the Believe Network. Cecil, welcome to the show.
B-Mac, that's not true. I didn't almost try to hit you. I think it might have been an accident, and then I had the creepy white van. That's questionable, but don't worry about that.
You and still
actually,
have
it's 7 kids. B-Mac is 7 kids.
Oh, it's 7 kids? Oh,
yeah,
man.
You
and I haven't worked together in a while. Man.
7-on-7 drills.
Man, yeah, you're crazy. 4 away from a roster, man. You could start
Man, listen, between my wife and I, we got a whole baseball squad.
Yeah.
Our kickball team is legit. Like, we got a starting 5 in basketball with four reserves. We're good to go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you and I haven't worked together in a couple years. I wasn't aware that you're up to 7, but congratulations, brother. That's awesome. So, obviously, we spent the last segment talking NFL. Before that, the Texans. I'm curious to hear your thoughts before we get into the Texans. I mean, the biggest news in the NFL has been the holdouts and now trade requests from Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin. Obviously, one of those guys played the position you did in the league. I think with Terry specifically, it kind of feels like he's caught in a no-win situation because he deserves the money. He's played well enough to earn that big contract, but from the team's perspective, he's at an age now where guys don't usually get big long-term contracts. How do you see those situations playing out?
That's tough, man. I actually talked with Terry earlier this summer. He's like, man, he was serious about. He's like, I'm gonna hold on tight to me wanting to get a contract. I know this is my last chance of getting a big contract because of the age, like you mentioned. So he's gonna hold on tight to try to get that money. I mean, honestly, I don't blame him. Like you said, it's a tough situation because the team has all the control, and they don't want to give up a player that was ranked, I think, 51 or 52 in the top 100 of the NFL last year. He was a baller, made huge plays for the past 6-7 years, but he is at the age where he's getting closer to 30. I think he's 29, getting closer to 30. We're like, hey, how many of these prime years does he have left, right? And he's the product of playing in, if I'm not mistaken, college a little bit longer. So he as a rookie, he might have been a little bit older, right? So I feel him, man. I think he deserves to get paid, but I'm also a big fan, a big supporter of the players getting paid when they do well. But I think it'll be very tough for the Redskins, but for the Commanders to pay him that much money. If they do, now I'm pretty sure they want to bring him back, but if they do, I'm pretty sure it'll be a contract where they can get out in a year or two based on his production and his health and all that good stuff. Terry's deserving, and I think also a tough thing for Terry, because there is teams out there that need receivers, right? Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, and others. But do you want to go to a team that doesn't have Jaden Daniels? Do you want to go to a team that doesn't have this superstar quarterback in the making where you can play here next 3-4 years and you say you play well, you're playing with a superstar. Whether if you go to the Pittsburgh or the Cleveland, you don't know who the heck your quarterback may be or who will be in the future. So it's a tough decision, not only for the Commanders, but also for Terry to go to the right spot, the right team that will pay him, and also a team that will be good in the near future.
Hey, Cecil, Cam here. So I want to throw a Christian Kirk little comment towards you. So, obviously he started his career in Arizona with Kyler Murray. I didn't think it was a super great fit for him there. He goes to Jacksonville. He plays with Trevor Lawrence. He has that really good year of over 1,100 yards. I think Trevor Lawrence is a little more comparable to CJ down here in Houston. So from what you've seen from Kirk, obviously health is kind of a concern. But if Kirk can stay relatively healthy, do you think that we could see more of the Christian Kirk in that first year of Jacksonville, or do you kind of think we're gonna get the Arizona Christian Kirk?
No, I think you'll get the Jacksonville Kirk. I think a lot depends on his health. When he's healthy, he can make plays. His time in Jacksonville, coming out the slot, he was dynamic. Now that was 2-3 years ago. So it was 2-3 years ago as far as his age. He was younger, maybe a little bit more lively legs, but he's still a playmaker. He still can go out there and make plays. I think with the amount of good talent in that room around him, he's going to have to play well and really elevate his game just a tad bit more, because I believe Jalen Noel is the future in the slot. I think he's special. I think he's a Steve Smith type of guy, but I think that'll push Christian Kirk. He's the ultimate pro. I think he'll do really well in this type of offense with Nick Caley, where there'll be option routes and choice routes, and him being a savvy veteran, can read coverage. You get the ball in his hands quickly, he'll make the right decision, and he can turn a 5-yard gain to a 20-yard gain, or a 6-yard gain into a 55-yard gain. So I think this offense is a receiver-friendly offense. Getting the ball out quickly, getting into your playmakers, and you do that with Christian, I think it makes a lot of good plays for you. Also, he's savvy when it comes to crossing routes or over routes, going across the middle of the field, understanding where to sit in the zones. So I think he'll be a good playmaker for you. Obviously, I think Nico is the guy, and I'm a big fan of Jaden Higgins. I think Higgins is going to be your number 2 guy by midseason. He'll be your number 2 receiver easily. The way he can get in and out of breaks, the way he can snap out of his routes and go a different direction. It's kind of, he's 6'4", but he moves like a 5'9", 6 feet type of guy when he runs his routes, which is rare. I play with Mike Evans. I play with DeAndre Hopkins, bigger guys that he snaps out their routes better. Doesn't mean he's better than them yet, but he gets out of their routes extremely well compared to those 2 guys. So, and those 2 guys are eventually Hall of Famers, right? So I think they have a really competitive room, but I do expect Christian Kirk to play well closer to the Jacksonville style rather than Arizona.
Yeah, Cecil, you talk about how deep and really talented that receiver room is, and in practice every day they're going up against another very deep, very talented room of defensive backs. Who has really stood out to you, or who are you keeping an eye on in these one-on-one drills that they're doing almost every day in practice? Who, obviously, hey, Nico Collins is awesome. Derek Stingley's awesome. Who's really been catching your eye kind of as a sleeper or a guy who's impressed you a lot this camp?
Kalen Bullock is outstanding. I think Kalen Bullock might, and I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this, and I'm going out on the limb. And you can mark it. I said it here on August 2nd, 2025. Kalen Bullock might go down as the best safety in franchise history when it's all said and done. He is a ball hawk. Like, it's unbelievable the range he has from sideline to sideline, how he's reading the quarterback's eyes, how he's able to coverage, how he's able to go up and get the ball like a receiver in coverage, his understanding of the route concepts when he's on defense, his communication. He may go down, I'm going to say it again, as the best safety when it's all said and done in franchise history. That's how good he's looking. He is extremely impressive. And he was a guy, I believe, that was a 3rd or 4th round pick a year ago. And we knew, watching his film coming out of USC, you knew he was a ball hawk. I didn't expect him to acclimate this fast, right? What we saw at the end of the midseason, end of the year last year, I'm like, okay, he can make some plays. He's looking more and more comfortable every day. And that's credit to Nick Caserio. That's credit to Nico Ryan for developing these guys and finding the right pieces to come in here. I think Nick Caserio does a good job of finding those 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys to come in and make an impact. Because last year alone, I think Caleb might have been 3rd round now I think about it. You got Bullock and Kamari Lassiter in the same draft, and they both end up starting for you before the year's out in the same defensive backfield. There's a chance to be one of the best defensive backfields, let alone best defenses in the league. So Kalen Bullock is somebody that's been hard to not watch, right? Hard to not see. He's just around the ball. I think it was 2 days ago he was just making interceptions here, and and I'll be honest with you, turnovers are contagious. Like, turnovers they come in bunches. So if you mess around, if you watch the games last year, it was times we got, one turnover in the first quarter, and then we got another one and another one, all in one game. They come in bunches. Look at the Detroit Lions game. I don't know how we lost that game, but anyway.
Oh, don't bring us down, Cecil. Don't bring us down.
They come in bunches, right? So this dude he's just special. He's been able to be around the ball, and I'm excited to see him coming this upcoming season.
Cecil Shorts the third joining us here on the HRMP listener line. You can find him on Twitter at CShorts the third, triple I there on X. He's the game day MC for the Houston Texans and a host of Believe in Texans. Spent 6 years in the NFL with the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cecil, I think the top of the Texans depth chart at wide receivers locked in. We obviously know Nico and Christian Kirk and the two Iowa State rookies with Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll are your first four that are going to make the roster. I think last year they kept 7, but that was in part because Charles Sims plays special teams. I don't know if you think they're going to keep 6 or 7, but there's been a lot of talk of the John Mechie's, the Xavier Hutchinsons, who's going to make up the Justin Watson, Braxton Berrios came in. He can also play some special teams. But if you had to make your roster right now, who fills up the rest of that wide receiver room?
Oh, you put me on the spot, B-Mac. I said they keep 6. So I make it today. I said they keep 6. Mechie's interesting, because Mechie is still an interesting prospect that's shown glimpses of playing really well, also shown glimpses of inconsistency, right? So he's somebody I think can have a trade market. Like he has some type of he can be an asset either on this team or somewhere else. But because it's so deep here, right? I think that'll be tough for him to get on the field. But I'm not saying I'm trading. I'm just thinking out loud, okay? So you got your top 4. I think, honestly, it ends up being 3 Iowa State guys in that locker room. So I think Xavier sticks. I think he's really good on special teams. I think when his number is called, he can make plays. He can make tough catches. He did a really good job the last couple of years understanding offense. And when his number is called, for the most part, he's making plays. I also think he's doing a better job, and something he needs to continue to work on, in creating separation at the top of his routes from the defensive back. But one thing that helps him, he's such a big guy, he's able to make the tough catches. So I'm saying he's number 5, right? For all those reasons, special teams, and can get open, and he's dependable. Number 6, I'm going to say Mechie, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think Knoll is already a pencil in at some type of returner somewhere, right? I think Damian Pierce is already pictured or in as some type of returner somewhere, right? Kick returner, punt returner. I think it'll be hard for Berrios to make it as a returner only. I don't know if Watson is good enough as a receiver, if I trust him enough as a receiver to make the team. I think he's good on special teams, but is he better than Mechie and Hutchinson as a receiver? If I need to call on him, do I trust him more than those two? I don't know, right? You put me on the spot. So I'm going to say 6 would be Mechie. I say 6, Mechie makes the team. He'll be a special teams guy. He's fast, run down on kickoff, and I think there's enough potential there. And I think they see something in Mechie, former second-round pick, probably would have been a first-round pick. He didn't tear his ACL, right? Let's call a spade a spade. He probably would have been a first-round pick if he didn't tear his ACL. So I say Mechie makes it, but this is his last hoorah. If he doesn't show some things, he probably will not be in the Texans uniform much longer.
So, Cecil, all the beat reporters every day are tweeting out how many times C.J. Stroud gets sacked, what the offensive line combination is in practice. What outside of offensive line, because that's obviously what's kind of like the most interesting thing for fans is how are they going to protect CJ? That's what gets a lot of ink spilled on it. What are you watching in practice, and what do you think can be, other than offensive line, the biggest X factor for this Texans team?
You know what? On the offensive side, I look at the running back room and tight end room, especially that tight end room. Why? Because Nick Caley was a former tight ends coach with New England Patriots. He coached some of the best tight ends to ever play, and also he was a tight ends coach with the St. Louis Rams, with the LA Rams, right? So to me, he specializes in that position, so he knows how to get the best out of, and we need to get the best out of either Dalton Schultz, Brevin Jordan, Cade Stover, Luke Lackey, or whoever else is in that room. right? That's going to be tremendous. And if you look at where he's come from, right, and especially the type of offense I think he's going to run, which is going to be a mix of what McVay did and a mix of what he learned under Josh McDaniels as an OC in New England. The tight end was a big factor in those offenses, whether it was blocking, whether it was in the passing game. So that's the room I'm paying attention to. Dalton Schultz, to me, 2 years ago, lost confidence at the end of the season. There were some drops there. There were some bobbles there. I'll never forget a bobble that he ended up catching against the Browns in the playoffs where he was wide open, but he just didn't seem confident. And then coming to last season, we saw that unconfident Dalton Schultz, whether it was catching, whether it was blocking. And you can argue some of that blocking was the scheme and the play caller last year not doing a good job. But coming into this year, he needs a big year, right? And then you got Case Stover, who's still in development mode, who I think can make some big strides. And D'Amico talked really nice about him in the media not too long ago, I think last week or the week before. And then Brevin Jordan, back from ACL. Like, he is somebody who is fast that you want to find a mismatch on. Put him on a linebacker, him on a safety. Come on, man. And then I'm a big fan of the rookie Luke Lackey. I think he can do something. I think he was banged up at I'm thinking he was at Iowa, but he has potential to be a solid contributor somewhere. So I'm watching that room very closely, and that room can be a huge help. But I'm also watching the running back room because Woody Marks, that's my favorite draft pick of the year this year. I may be a fool. I picked him up on a lot of my fantasy teams. I may be a fool. Dynasty fantasy, by the way, for the long haul, right? I'm a GM.
I knew what you're saying,
The running back room is going to be interesting because Joe Mixon was the heart and soul of the offense last year. Like Nico was who Nico was. He was a top 5 guy until he went down for a little bit. He was unbelievable. But Joe Mixon was the heart and soul. You get Joe Mixon that ball, he's getting hit 2 yards before he even gets to the line of scrimmage, breaks that tackle, runs for a 12-yard game, which ended up being a 20-yard game because how far he got hit in the backfield. Like his attitude, his mindset, what he brings to the offense, that dog, he's needed, right? So with him being out X amount of time, you have an older Nick Chubb, who I'm not the biggest fan of right now, not because he wasn't great in his past, just the injury history really worries me. Is he going to be the same guy? So now I'm looking, okay, can Dameon Pierce be the guy? Can Woody Marks be the guy? Can somebody else in that room be the guy? Like, is there something that in game that can help this offense, right? They talk about how physical they want the offensive line to be, how they're going to run the ball, how they're going to protect CJ. The biggest thing you can do to protect CJ, the biggest thing you can do to protect any quarterback is to have a legitimate run game. If you can run the ball at any point in time, that's going to be a big help.
That the voice of Cecil Shorts, the third former Texans receiver, spent 6 years in the league with the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can see him as a part of the Texans crew on game day, one of their game day MCs, and also on the Believe Network as a host of Believe in Texans. And a man who has we heard one of them, but a man who has 2 passing touchdowns in his career, which 2 passing touchdowns was good enough to get Tyler Huntley in the Pro Bowl one year. So I'm just saying, maybe we should put some more respect on Cecil Shorts.
Retroactive Pro Bowl?
Retroactive Pro Bowl for Cecil Shorts. I'm throwing it out there. Roger Goodell, if you're listening, make that happen for my man Cecil Shorts.
Appreciate y'all, man.
All right, we'll catch up with you later, Cecil. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, take care. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
All right, on the other side of the break, man, that was fun catching up with Cecil. He and I worked together at the Texans flagship for a number of years. We tried to do a fantasy show, but the PD there at the time, he wasn't interested in fantasy. That's another grudge for another day. But that was fun catching up. On the other side of the break, when we get back, we got some leftovers to get into, and the moment you've all been waiting for, especially Sean. He's taking off his headphones, but he can still hear me because he's got ears. The JMU Dukes Championship celebration.
Gag.
This is The Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
It is time for your main event. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, Sean Mabe, Sean Belmer with you here on The Bullpen.
Is this the main event?
This is the main event, baby. This is what we've been waiting for. Well, a few weeks ago.
Doesn't the main event close?
Yeah, shut up, Sean. A few weeks ago, we had Sean was out that day, but Cam and John were here as I picked my team for the college football dynasty that also has Sean Mapes, has Joe George, Del Olalea, Josh Beard in it.
AJ Russ
in it. Also, he is Stanford. Yeah. So the seven of us, we've completed our first season on to the second season, but the first season ended with a national championship won by my James Madison Dukes after a perfect 17-0 season.
Okay, so even though we're going through year 2, you're still looking back and reminiscing on year 1?
Well, I mean, that championship fell in a time where I couldn't, it wouldn't have been on last week's show because I don't think the championship had happened. So this is the first opportunity. I don't think the Killer Bees are going to let me do what's about to happen. I will say ahead of time, as a warning, mostly to Sean, my goal since winning this championship was to make all of you regret for inviting me into the league. So with that in mind,
already.
Our friends at ESPN have put together this 30 for 30 on the 2025 championship season for the James Madison Dukes. Take a listen.
It's something they haven't seen but once before in 2004, but the Dukes can call themselves national champions for a second time in the program's 45-year history.
In the heart of Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Oh my God.
The 2025 James Madison University Dukes carved their name into college football history. Undefeated, unstoppable, national champions. This was the season Dukes Nation dreamed of. From the first snap against Weber State to the final whistle against Ohio State, JMU's Dukes win a perfect 17-0.
My boyfriend bet on Ohio State over JMU, and I broke up with him and changed his DraftKings password. In fact, I'm going to name my kid Alonza after Alonza Barnett. Duh.
Rewriting the record books with heart, grit, and unrelenting spirit. Led by a relentless defense and an explosive offense, the Dukes dominated with standout performances from players like Heisman finalist Alonza Barnett III.
Flag on the play, free play for Barnett. So he's going to take the deep shot. He's got Dollison, puts it on the money for a touchdown. 69 yards score for the Dukes.
The fact that we were robbed of a Heisman just shows you the deep state that is college football, trying to keep us from winning everything. But guess what? Next season, we're coming for it all. Not a piece of it. We're coming for everything.
Record-setting tight end Logan Kyle.
Logan Kyle is the best tight end to walk this earth in football history, and I will kick any bitch's ass who thinks otherwise.
And the new single-season sack record holder, Gannon Weathersby.
Taken down, sacked by the Dukes. And a fumble of the play, and Gannon Weathersby comes out with it.
All became legends in the Shenandoah Valley. Every game, Bridgeforth Stadium shook with roars of a sold-out stadium. Their purple and gold pride fueling the team's fire. But this was more than football. It was JMU's unbreakable community. Students, alumni, families, united as one.
Bro, JMU is the best organization in college football, maybe in the world. And after we beat FIU, bro, I gave my GM a turd wrapped in a box to represent his organization, because that's exactly what FIU is, a piece of crap. JMU versus the world, baby.
From the chilly fall evenings of Virginia to the bright spotlight of prime time on a Monday night at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Dukes Nation carried their team to victory.
The Dukes are going to the national championship. You betcha.
Some say that nothing worth having comes easy, and JMU embraced that mentality by going through traditional powerhouses, Georgia, Clemson, and Oregon, on their way to the doorstep of glory, the national championship game.
Dominate
ain't the point of contact. You strike them in the face. The first snap, the second snap, and every snap all day long. You win the point of contact. That trophy's going back to Harrisburg, Virginia today. You got me? Sir. It is our time. And the big thing we got to do, we got to finish this season off. Finish the grill. Finish them. Let's take this thing back to Harrisburg.
The hallowed grounds of the Orange Bowl played host to their defining moment when JMU defeated Ohio State 42-7 to claim the undisputed college football national championship, an undefeated dream realized.
The longest, toughest postseason climb in the history of the sport.
Move over, David. The conqueror of Goliaths has a new name, James Madison. Today, the legacy of the 2025 Dukes lives on, not just in trophies, but in the spirit of a university that dared to be great. JMU, forever champion.
Oh, well done, ESPN, for that 30 for 30 on the James Madison Dukes championship season. Oh, Johnny's trying to get us to break, but do you regret having me in the league yet, Sean?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mission accomplished.
I won 2 championships in the last year.
Well, you
and
could
guess
have
what?
made one.
I just turned off my PS5 afterwards.
I just like how in the beginning it just sounded like a black and white 1950s like broadcast where they're still wearing their like leather helmets, and then it just transitioned to what sounded like Blue Mountain State.
Turn this off.
What's funny about that, Cam, is you're 100% right. This sounded like it was they were calling highlights of Red Grange, but it was from 2016. For some reason, their radio broadcast is just that shaky.
I just picture a black and white TV.
Harrisburg, Virginia.
Well, I mean, you heard the coach, man. We're taking it back to Harrisburg, Virginia.
Are these actually like clips from the game?
No, for the video game, no. It's from actually, well, I'm not.
ESPN Plus
I
broadcast.
mean, well, I can't. It was from them beating North Carolina last year. All right, we'll go to break. I make Sean regret inviting me to the league. But JMU, you're 2025 national champions.
Michael Carroll should have slapped you in the face. That's what she said.
Welcome back into the second best part of your weekend, Mount Rushmore plus one, because obviously the for the JMU is number one. That's the best part of your weekend. Honestly, every segment after the JMU National Championship celebration feels like a letdown.
I'd rather have another producer meeting.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is Mount Rushmore plus one, the award-winning,
no one's still listening to the
segment
show.
that has forever changed the sports radio
Everyone
landscape.
turned off the radio.
That will get the three of us plus
Close
Johnny.
the computer.
I'm doing the whole damn thing. Shut up, Sean. Into the Texas Radio Hall of Fame in far less than the 27 years it took those bums, John Lance, to get there.
I think
Actually,
Bell,
I think I'm getting in before you guys.
I was going to say, I think Belver, Cam, and I have moved ahead of you after that last segment.
I'm getting in before. Well, me and Michael Carroll are getting now in before because of the JMU National Championship.
Yeah, you're going to get us in trouble for promoting JMU when we're an A&M station.
BMAC just gets an asterisk.
That's fine. As long as you put a plaque up on the wall, you can say anything you want. That's fine. All right, time for Mount Rushmore plus one. I will go ahead and go first. So my Mount Rushmore plus one are of just random things I'd like to accomplish at some point while I'm still standing on this earth. Just random things.
Corporeal plane.
Yeah,
okay.
just things I'd. First one, I'm gonna out myself as a nerd. Not that was already not apparent.
Okay.
But I'd like to get to a million achievement points on Xbox. I'm currently like 215,000. Would you care to guess? Because I actually looked this up to see. Because my wife sometimes complains about me chasing achievements when we play games. But would you care to guess? Because I looked this up. Who or like how much the worldwide leader in achievement points has? I know you guys are PlayStation 5 guys.
Yeah, I have no concept of that. I haven't played on an Xbox since 360.
All right, well, this will be lost. So. It's like 6 million, but
okay.
Yeah,
and you're trying to get to one.
I'm trying to get to one.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to one. Now it took me like 10 years to get to 215,000. So
oh my God!
You're not gonna make it. Dude.
Probably not gonna make it, but it's on the list. It's on the list. Other things I want to accomplish. Now this is a wrestling reference, but I think Sean might have noticed this guy, and you'll notice him tonight, Sean. He'll be there for SummerSlam, but I want to be a green shirt guy. I just so if you're not familiar with green shirt guy, and any wrestling fan knows exactly who I'm talking about. But for every single PLE premium live event the WWE does throughout the year, there's always one guy that's front and center camera side in the first row along the barrier, and it's a guy. He's wearing a tan hat with a green shirt with a smiley face on it.
Yeah, he's like, he's
like, there every single major pay-per-view.
It's like Marlins Man. Remember Marlins Man, the guy who wear like the orange Marlins stuff at baseball games?
He wears the same. Yeah, it's always the green shirt with a smiley face and a tan hat.
Yeah, it's the wrestling version of that.
I want to be some version of green shirt guy where every time like someone turns on a specific broadcast, like, oh, it's that guy. He's always there in the front row.
JMU.
Yeah, JMU, baby.
Just
that's right.
To
all right, a few more things here. Yeah, I could be that guy for JMU football. Maybe so. I want to have a Tom Brady role named after me. Now, this could go either negative or like there's laws. Like there's tons of laws where it's the whatever the person's name, like Miranda rights. Like I want to have my name in some sort of law or rule. Like Tom Brady rules, obviously, when Bernard Pollard went low and tore his ACL. Yeah. Now you can't go low on quarterbacks. I want to have some sort of rule and law.
The McDonald's rule?
The Brian rule. BMAC rule probably sounds like I was intoxicated at 3 a.m. But just a Brian rule. Like it could be negative, so this may backfire me. But I want to have a legacy where my name is in a rule or a law.
When we talk about that last segment here and we ban doing that again, that's the BMAC rule.
Boom! Accomplished. All right, two more quickly. You always hear this phrase in commercials for cars, but I want to become a well-qualified buyer.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I thought you wanted to be at JD Power or Associates. I want to be an associate of JD Power.
You always hear like there's a better price for quote well-qualified buyers. I don't know what sort of how many zeros you need in the bank account.
I think it's a credit score thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know what the credit score needs to be, but I want to become a well-qualified buyer. Spoiler, not there yet.
What's your credit score?
Not high enough to be a well-qualified buyer.
I have no idea what mine is. So.
Last one on things I want to accomplish. I want to out Pizza the Hut. I just want to be able.
Doesn't take much.
You can't out Pizza the Hut.
I want to out Pizza the Hut. I want to have a blind taste competition. Make my own pizza. Put up against a Pizza Putt pizza and have my pizza win, and then I would out Pizza the Hut.
But that's your it's just Pizza Hut you want to overtake?
I'm going with the same here.
same,
Yeah,
if you
there's
can't
a
out
bit
Pizza
here.
Hut.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, there's a lot better pizzas out there.
There are.
Yeah, sure. Guess set the bar low,
Johnny
I guess.
turned Cam's microphone off. Like,
It's not Domino's, but it's pretty good.
yes, I guess we have to keep Cam's microphone on because it's his time to do his Mount Rushmore plus one. But he maybe explained a bit, and I don't like that.
Sorry.
I mean, you explained green shirt guy.
Well, I had to because 2 of the 4 are not wrestling fans here. So go ahead, Cam.
In honor of football season around the corner, therefore fantasy football around the corner, I did some clever fantasy football names.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
For this year,
Yeah,
or is it
yeah,
timeless?
for this
Okay.
year. Some of them can be timeless, but I think it's more
Yeah.
it's more for this year. So the first one I have, and this would affect me because Bijan might be one of my keepers. It's a Bed Bath and Bijan.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Clever,
That's a
clever.
good
My Balzac hurts.
That one's been around for a while. But
Yeah, clever though, clever.
There's also
because he's still in the
hopefully-
league, I think.
Hopefully, I'm not robbing
He's
one from
still
your
in
list.
the-
There's also Cooper Cup my. Yeah.
Yeah.
My what, Brian?
The first word from the last one. I don't think I should say the whole thing.
This one I think fits with the Cowboys because they are known as the Evil Empire. So the Empire strikes Dak.
Not bad.
Not
I don't know if
bad.
I could call them the Evil Empire though. They don't win enough.
Yeah.
They got to
But
destroy a planet.
But they're
or two.
evil in the fact that they still think they're America's team without
That's
winning.
fair.
Empire's
That's
also
fair.
Only because of Jerry.
Empire pretty incompetent considering who they lost to.
Exactly.
Yeah, they did leave that like port open.
They lost to like a volunteer X-wing fighter. Now they didn't know he was a Jedi, but also you probably should have known he was a Jedi. Oh, anyway, go.
This next one, I mean, he might be on a fantasy team. He might not be, but it is still a clever name. Pacheco yourself before you wreck yourself.
Pacheco,
Oh, he's on a.
Yeah,
he's
I mean he
definitely on a
is,
fantasy
but like
team.
if,
he's like
yeah.
a flex, but yeah.
Maybe
a
at the
bench
most.
guy.
Yeah. And then the next one, he might not see a lot of time, but it is good. Hot Chub Time Machine.
There's other things you could do there with
Yeah,
Chubb. That is.
I give you points for not going with the easy.
Yeah, like
easy
Nick
thing
Chubb has
of Chubb.
definitely got to be one of the more
I mean,
popular
there's
Yeah.
another one
names
clearly.
to punt
Yeah.
Also,
fantasy
also a
football.
great movie.
Yeah. Well, underrated. The second one, not as much.
Less great sequel.
Yeah. All right. Main event Mapes. Go ahead and main event this thing.
There's not really a tie-in for this. I was just thinking about something
Oh,
randomly.
is this words that sound right?
No, it's Mount Rushmore +1 of famous people's real names.
Okay.
So the real
Oh,
names
okay.
of famous people. So leading things off will be Stevie Wonder, aka Stevlin Hardaway Judkins. That's his real name.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Stevie
Have you ever met a
Wonder-
Stevlin before?
No.
Never.
Stevie
No.
Wonder definitely rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like obviously I knew his name was not like he was,
Wonder.
Yeah, his last name wasn't Wonder.
I wonder where he
But
came up
I
with
never
Stevie
considered
Wonder.
what his real name was, and Stevlin
I never
Hardaway
considered that
Judkins.
his last name wasn't Wonder.
What inspired this list, Sean? Did you just randomly come across one of these names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then just kind of built it out from there.
All right.
Because another one is Tom Cruise, aka Thomas Cruise Mapother the Fourth.
Wait, hold on. What? Mapother?
Mapother.
That's his last name?
Yes.
Mapaport
Wow.
the Fourth.
And Cruz is his middle name?
Mapother. I don't know. I guess maybe you changed it or something.
Yeah.
But
Huh.
yeah,
I can see why he went with Cruz.
yeah. He's not a superstar if he's not a movie star if
He's not
rolls
dating
with
Anna de Armas if
No,
his name is
he's-
Mapother.
They're like,
That lucky son of a gun.
get out of my face with this Mission Impossible BS. Mapifer. Tom Cruise. 7 movies right there. One of my favorite actors of all time, Vin Diesel, aka. Do you know his real name?
I do not know.
No, Mark Sinclair.
Ugh.
That's another one where
Mark?
it's like
Yeah.
you're not a movie star if your name's Mark
No.
Sinclair,
Yeah,
or
no.
at least you're a different type of movie star. But you're not Vin Diesel.
You're not an action star.
His last name's Diesel.
He could take on
Diesel.
He could take on like Benedict Cumberbatch roles.
Or I think Mark Sinclair is rom-com, like B-movie rom-com lead.
See, you went lead. I was gonna go the best friend of a rom-com.
That too. Well, I was
lead.
thinking like a bad rom-com.
Okay,
like
bad rom-com.
He's the guy,
Okay.
Ryan Phillippe.
Wow, Ryan Phillippe catches strays. today.
And that was just for you.
Thank you.
You know what? This one I'm actually going to just say his real name, and then you guys guess who it is.
Oh,
Oh, I
okay.
like that.
it.
Okay.
Maurice Joseph Micklewhite.
Maurice Joseph
Micklewhite.
MJ.
Maury.
Maury, what is it?
Maury
Maury Povich?
Povich? Yeah. I think that's his real name. I don't know.
Maurice Joseph what? Micklewhite?
Micklewhite. All one last name.
Is he a movie star, TV star?
Yeah, movie star.
Movie star.
I have no guess. I've got nothing.
John?
I'm drawing a blank too.
That's all right, because I don't think you're going to get that. It's Sir Michael Caine.
You're right. You're right.
Oh,
I was trying
wow.
to think of last people with people with the last name of White, and they shortened Micklewhite to White, but I wasn't coming up with anything.
Yeah, Sir Michael Caine was born.
Some people just like to watch the world burn.
Was born Maurice Joseph Micklewhite.
I don't know. As a British person, I think he could have got away with that. But Michael Caine's
Mo
better.
Micklewhite?
Yeah, well, maybe
Mo
not.
Micklewhite. Mo Micklewhite was a defensive tackle for the Oilers in 1975.
100%.
He should have kept his first name though, Sir Maurice.
Sir Maurice.
Yeah.
Maurice. I think Maurice gets a bad rap as a name. Maurice is a strong
Now,
name.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
I don't think Mo works, but Maurice pretty solid.
You have to pull off a Mo. Mo's a nickname that you have to earn. I feel
Yeah,
like.
and it can only work for certain job types, I think.
Exactly.
Like the Three Stooges.
Exactly. And the reason for the season, Carlos Javier Correa Oppenheimer Jr. That's Carlos Correa's full name.
Oppenheimer?
Sure.
Yes, it is Oppenheimer.
Wait, you're not joking?
No, I'm not
You're
joking,
joking.
whatsoever.
Yes, you are.
Pull it up on YouTube.
I
Pull up
heard,
his
I heard a
Wikipedia
clip
page.
of Paul
Okay,
saying
Cam.
that. That's not his real name.
Pull up his Wikipedia
pull-
page.
Seriously.
Cam, what do you see in the Wikipedia?
Yeah,
Right there.
pull up the Wikipedia.
Yeah, but Wikipedia.
Oh my God.
Pull up something
Oh, it
other than
is.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, go to his baseball reference page.
Yeah.
Go to his baseball reference page. It'll list the full name.
It just says Carlos Correa.
Oh, usually it lists the full name below.
Carlos Javier Correa.
No,
But it doesn't list Oppenheimer.
It's Oppenheimer, dude.
I want it to be Oppenheimer.
It is. Like, I guarantee you it's true.
I don't believe you.
Did you write that into
Who would've-
Wikipedia right before?
It would. By
Yes,
the way,
that's
people
what he
have,
did.
people have talked about this for years too. This isn't like a new.
Oh, really?
thing. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I didn't know that.
Wow.
Although-
Carlos Correa's real name is legitimately Carlos Javier Correa Oppenheimer Jr.
I mean, Oppenheimer's obviously the funniest part. Junior is a sneaky like.
There's another
dad
person
has the same
named
name.
Oppenheimer as one of two middle names. As one of two middle names.
There's a conspiracy here. It's not true.
I can't. I'm not buying either, Johnny.
yeah.
Someone's messing with the Wikipedia page there. I don't know if it's Sean.
You think
I'm
J.
not pointing fingers?
Do you think J. Robert Oppenheimer maybe took a vacation to Puerto Rico and accidentally?
I didn't see that part of the movie.
Yeah, they cut that actually.
Yeah, all I remember from that movie was Black
Florence
Widow's.
Pugh.
Yeah, Black Widow's sister in her loungewear, which wasn't much of.
All right.
Anyway, all right. We'll get back
Horny
on
old
the
man.
side of the break. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, Sean Mapes, John Belmer with you for one more segment where we talk about the JMU net. No, I'm kidding. What we love from sports this week and the worst person in sports this week. I have a feeling I might get nominated. That when the Bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
All right, one segment to go here on the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. We will be back next week. A quick programming note on August 30th, there will not be a show because that is Ohio State versus Texas at 11 a.m., and I'm not trying to do the show while Ohio State, Texas is on. Yeah, I know. It's not saying it will hit us with that. But
I think I'm also I'll be in Lake Charles doing the draft.
Oh, the fantasy draft thing with John
draft,
Lansendale?
yeah, so.
Okay, yeah. So no show that week. And then after that, we will be on if the Aggies don't kick us off. So we'll be on the rest of August until August 30th. And then football season, it's TBD. Just depends when the Aggies play.
Yep.
And I know there's...
Root for the Aggies to be good, so they play at night.
There's at least two games on their schedule already that are 11 a.m. kickoffs that we will not be on. I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. But anyway, just a heads up for future programming. All right. Time to finish up with how we always do with the worst people in sports this week and what we love from sports this week. My worst person in sports is another. We heard the missed home run call in the A's Astros series where the fill-in play-by-play guy called a Lawrence Butler moonshot, a foul ball
to right center,
a foul ball. Well, there was another one last night. Alex Faust blows this. Now this is a home run by Blake Perkins. He hits a solo home run. The game is in the second inning. He hits it off of Mitchell Parker to tie the game at 1-1. But this was his call.
That takes on the identity of their manager, like this Nationals organization. This is belted to left by Jansen, or rather by Perkins, and it's a one-out home run, a solo shot to put the Brewers on top 1-0.
Not 1-0. So again, you can hear in the audio like he's still telling some story. You hear the crack of the bat and the crowd reacting. He's not flinching
because he's telling a story about like how the Nationals have taken on the identity of their smack as a home run's getting hit against the Nationals.
So he calls the wrong player at first, and then he also says that the Brewers took the lead, but it actually tied the game.
Yeah, not great.
No, Brewers went on to win that game 16-9. A lot of runs scored yesterday.
He made a Faustian bargain. Perhaps.
Oh, well done, Cam. Your worst person?
My worst person, and I don't know who this gentleman is. He was just happened to be at the Astros game Saturday when I was there, and he dropped not one, but two foul balls.
Oh,
hit to him.
Now, were these easy to make plays? Like, are these?
Yeah. What's
the
catch probability?
So no, high because we were in the 300s. It was a little further down. So the foul balls, they weren't line drive foul balls. So you had time to kind of react.
Okay, so they're fly balls.
Both times hit in the hand and dropping it.
Oh,
that's tough.
That's a bad look.
That's tough.
Main card revoked.
Yeah. I mean,
Sean, who's your worst person?
If he had a glove, absolutely.
Well, no, if he brings a glove, he's just a loser.
Also, man card revoked.
Man card revoked.
Tough
Don't let that man in.
That should be a segment. Man card.
Yeah. Your worst person, Sean.
Worst person in sports this week, Boston Red Sox fans. Do you hear about this? See this last night? They, obviously, the Astros were in town, and they mercilessly booed Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa for their roles in the 2017 Houston Astros sign stealing scandal while cheering on Alex Bregman and Alex Cora. Who also were part of the 2017 Astros.
I wonder how much Carlos Correa...
Also, the 2018 Red Sox cheated.
Alex Cora got suspended for a year for it.
That too.
Just the hypocrisy is...
It's crazy.
I'm used to
on an Apple broadcast where the Red Sox cheated by using Apple Watches.
Yes.
And I was like wondering if they're ever going to mention it on the broadcast. Of course they didn't.
No. They're all trying to throw it under the rug.
You were listening to the broadcast instead of the local?
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, it was Apple. There was no local.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Your local radio call.
Yes, local radio call.
Yes, but I was illegally streaming it. So don't have that on.
What's that?
Yeah, call 911, Johnny. Let's get Sean arrested here. All right, time to stop swimming with the anger sharks. So go ahead and do the doggy paddle over to the sea of tranquility. Has to take a deep breath here and talk about what we love from sports this week. One of the things I love from sports this week, we'll see if we have time for the second. Another baseball call, but this time not a mistake, more so a jinx. So Michael Kay and former MLB player Paul O'Neill were on the call of Yankees and Marlins last night. And with the Yankees leading 9-8 in the seventh with the newly acquired reliever David Bednar, who they got the trade deadline a couple of years ago, this was their call.
I was talking to the Marlins broadcasters, and they were talking about David Bednar was making his Yankee debut, and they said, you got to watch out. I said, why? And they said, he really, really struggles here, and always has. So he has a 7.04 ERA in 9 games and thrown right into the fire in now a nail-biting game.
Got a different uniform on now, Mike. What's going to change his luck?
There you go. Sanoha, driven deep to left field. That's it high enough. Tie game.
You gotta love it. They spent like, oh, his ERA at the stadium is terrible. Oh, it's a New Jersey.
Yeah, he's a Yankee
Change
now.
of scenery. He's the ghost of Babe Ruth. And right as they finish, boom, home run. Not only a home run, but a home run that tied the game in the seventh. Yes.
Yeah. By the way, disastrous night for the Yankees last night.
Yes.
Go watch that if you have.
We don't have time for this audio, but also quickly I love the Rockies comeback. Down 9-0 in the first inning.
Crazy.
They came back to win 17-16. Cam, what'd you love?
Mine is also Yankee related. I love that they went out at the trade line and made a bunch of moves to bolster their bullpen, and then the bullpen imploded and lost them the game.
We heard one of those things.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch.
Sean, what'd you love?
Carlos Correa is a Houston Astro again. Mine is pretty simple. Surprised it didn't get taken.
I mean, I figured somebody was going to say it. So
a golden era Houston Astro, maybe the first true, maybe Altuve was up first, but Correa was the pick.
Yeah, the first number one pick.
He was the first top prospect,
right.
And to have him back is amazing. Like I said, the vibes are insane. You basically
immaculate.
You basically do get to have the it feels right. This guy gets to retire an Astro, but you get to do that for 4 years.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it for the bullpen. Thank you to Cecil Shorts for joining us early in the show. Thank you to ESPN for putting together the JMU Dukes National Championship celebration. For Cam Smith, for Sean Mapes, for John Belmer, I'm Brian McDonald. We'll be back next weekend. Have a great weekend, Houston. Peace.
This is America, Ken. If you don't know the facts, then you got to shut